Hello. Hi, guys. Hi, Linda. It's Central Time Zone. I see your question. You're already here. Congratulations. You might hear a toddler screaming in the background. She's arguing with the eldest. I can hear her. So thanks, guys, for being here. It is Monday, and we are setting our intention. We have been doing this for quite some time now, and it has been so much fun. So I can see that a couple of you, it looks like you're on here. Let me know when you're on, and we will. There you are. Hi, Danielle. Hi, Jody. Hi, another Danielle, my dear. We have something in the works, and I can't talk about it just yet, can I, Danielle? Hi, Marcy. I see you there. I'm propping up my phone up there so I can see you guys. So who's been loving this intention setting? Hi, Scarlett. I see you there too, my dear. This has been lots of fun. It's last week. Those of you who saw it, give me a thumbs up if you did, saw Miss Anderson. She came in here probably, I don't know, a handful of times and ended up wanting to go see Mr. Moon, which we do usually on a handful of bases or evenings. We run outside to go find the moon, and I don't know where he's been located lately. We just have not been able to find him. So it's been kind of a thing in our house. And you know what, I felt like when the toddler says, hey, Mom, I want your time, I figured that was kind of a little more important at the moment. So anyway, I wanted to, before we jumped into our intention setting tonight, to jump into something kind of serious. You know, we talked last week about loss and about, fixing my hat, about grieving, seeing signs and symbols. And I wanted to share just a brief little story. That was on Wednesday. That was with Aviana and I. Hi, Keely. I see you there. Hi, Diane. Hi, Jody. Thanks for being here. And yeah, Marcy, I'm glad you caught us here again, right? You're too busy for us sometimes. I love you. I'm just teasing you. So anyway, we jumped off of that, that Facebook Live on Wednesday, and the next morning, woke up, had things to do, had an appointment, a personal appointment in Oklahoma City, and then private sessions later throughout the day in Oklahoma City. And I got a text message from a friend that one of our friends had passed. It had been a while since something like that had happened, so it was definitely a shock. This particular person had kind of a big marking in my life, you could say. And so it was quite a shock. I had just seen them on Saturday and just kind of gave them the head nod and the eyebrow raise, like, hey, hi, how are you? But nothing, you know, verbal. We didn't really speak. So to hear that he had passed on Thursday was, yeah, again, a shock. But it was interesting. You know, the more I do this work, the more, hi, Beth Ann, or hi, Nicole, I see you there, my dear. But the more I do this work, it's interesting to be the person going through the loss or the grieving. I tend to kind of go quiet and process, and I certainly felt all of the emotions that were coming up. But I wanted to chat about being really aware of those signs and symbols. I had ran to the hospital and was there with a group of our friends to say some of our goodbyes. And as I left and was getting in the car, a song that came on the radio, which I haven't heard, it was a 90s country Garth Brooks song, but the particular song that came on had direct meaning to the relationship that we had. And while we weren't close any longer, there was a finale to our relationship that I was very much at peace with. And so it was just kind of a beautiful karmic ending, if you will, to everything that we had gone through. So some losses are, you know, we carry in a different way, I want to say, but still be aware of those signs and symbols that they bring through. This song, again, I hadn't heard it in quite some time, and it came on just as I got in the vehicle. The words and the messages through the song was in direct correlation with our relationship, and I knew that he was speaking to me through this song. So I just wanted to remind you all to really open your eyes when, you know, whether somebody has just passed or, hi, Nana, I see you there. I love you. I had a little visitor, one of your little birds today. But I want you just to be aware of those signs and symbols that you receive, whether that's a loved one of your own loved one, or if that is a loved one of somebody else's that's close to you. So, and I actually did share this with somebody who's actually watching today too. So when we do get and receive those signs and symbols, something that can help us, because it's really good and healthy to have a skeptic's mind, if you will. And oh, I just got a text message. Okay. Hello, I got your text message, by the way. It's good for you to notate, to journal, and take an account for the signs and the symbols that you're receiving. So the thing is if you date that piece of paper, and it doesn't have to be anything fancy. It could be a notebook, which I have here, which of course there's anything I have has paint all over it, but just paper, date and time that book. And this doesn't have to be an extensive journal, but it can say the date at the top, got in the car, felt like so-and-so was with me, and I felt love. That as simple as that. Or you can be more extensive in your writing or processing of whatever it is you felt like you're receiving. What happens when we dictate our experience is time and time again, you will receive signs and symbols. And if you write all of those connections down in one space. Hi, Jeremy, I see you there. Thanks for being here, buddy. If you write down all those signs and symbols in one space, you can refer back to it. And my old journal, which I wish it were sitting here, I would grab it and show it to you, it dates back to probably 2008, 2007, this particular one I'm thinking of. And it has grocery list in it. Oops, I didn't pay that. I've got to pay this. Or it's got kind of life writings in it, along with lots of realizations and aha moments. And I date all of those things so that the skeptic, I'm a skeptic. I think if anybody does what I do, I think they're full of it until you prove me otherwise. I, of course, associate with lots of people that are very good at doing this kind of work. But if I meet somebody, I don't always quite trust it. So it's very healthy for you to be a skeptic. Thank you, Lane, for that too. I appreciate that. So anyway, the way that you can kind of work through your own skepticism with what you receive is by notating it down. I called mine the I'm Not Crazy book, because I was like, I'm a practical girl. I'm a smart girl, worked in the corporate world for quite some time. And so every time I had a dream, and they were always premonitions, but once I really started to jot that information down and was able then to refer back to it, the dates, the timings, I was able then to see that I'm not making this up. This is crazy. I had multiple experiences with many friends that are even watching, family members, where I would call them and say, hey, I'm dreaming about this. This is what came through. What's going on? And I didn't always know that this was information coming through. I just thought it was odd and was more just sharing the information. And in time, I realized how correct and on point the information actually was. So it took many years to move through this process, along with meditation, finding out what my true energy feels like. And it really boils down to connecting. For me, it boils down to connecting to your loved ones on the other side. I do think that if I didn't have the loss of my mother and a few friends, and then my father, I don't think that I would necessarily be doing this work. It was something that was quite healing for me to connect to them and move through that journey. So again, I just want to encourage all of you to dive into your own intuition, your own knowing. Yes, be skeptical. Yes, process the information, but notate it down and have it in one maybe central location where you can refer back to it. And like I said, any good, I hate to even call it a journal, because so many of us hate to journal if we feel like we have to do something we don't necessarily want to do it. But if you just write down your aha moments or your experiences, have it next to your bed, in your car, wherever it's best for you to have a few minutes. I think that's a great tip. So there's a good tip for you guys to connect to your own knowing and your own information. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what comes through. Let's connect to our guides and angels. and call on them. And when I say this, we're connecting to yours, we're connecting to mine, and let's see what comes through, okay? So go ahead and everybody take a big inhale and fully exhaling. And let's call on our guides and angels. So that's guides and angels on our right, guides and angels on our left, guides and angels in front, and guides and angels in back to balance and harmonize our session and leave us in the light and allow nothing but the highest, the truest, or the best to manifest upon us now. As I did that, so many of you, give me a thumbs up if you were saying that with me or if you were actually connecting with me, because I felt like I see a few of you, your names popped up to me, and I feel like I could feel you doing the same thing. So I want you, whenever I do this, I want you, those of you who feel like you are intuitive or you have abilities, I want you to kind of connect and see what was coming up for you, okay? Just as I was opening that. And even as I'm doing this, I want to encourage you all to connect and see if there was something coming through. I'm here on BeLive, but I'm watching all of the information coming up on my cell phone. So if you see me toggling back and forth, that's what I'm doing. All right, so I do have a canvas already here. We are throwing some paint down. Immediately, so what just came through was I trust my knowing. I trust my knowing. That's your positive intention for this week, is I trust my knowing. So I want to, of course you do. We were just talking about you jotting down your information, the information that you receive. Again, I want to stress that it is so good for you to be a skeptic. It's really, really healthy. And in years, in time, from today, from on, if you start this experience now, you in time will see that we are all quite connected. I do also like to stress to my clients that you can do this work. You do not need somebody like myself or me to, hi Aviana, I see you there. You can actually connect in your own right. And once you trust what you are receiving, of course, that's when the good stuff happens, actually. So I trust in my knowing is your positive intention for the week. I'm sitting here painting. This white energy coming through is just showing pure connected to source, okay? And of course, I'm going to just say this once. I don't want to get it mangled and revisit that information, but the white in the painting is you connecting to source, okay? Let's see here. And there's a pink nurturing color that's kind of coming through as well. I should have it where it's behind me, maybe on, I might start doing it where you guys can actually see it there. Hi, Linda, I see you there. You are here, I'm glad you're here. Hi, Alicia, too. Thank you for being here. So we have just been setting our intention, guys. Our intention for the week is I trust my knowing, and we're painting, okay? So that white, again, is you connecting to your knowing, to source, and to the highest of energy. So that yellow coming through is that intuition, okay? Earlier, we were just discussing journaling, writing down those aha moments, those experiences that you, that come to you. And very often, you know, like I said, and Aviana, you weren't here, I was just sharing with everybody that I had a loss on Thursday. We did our video on Wednesday, and then I, going about my day, of course, on Thursday had an old friend, an old acquaintance. We had actually lost touch and kind of grew beyond each other through the years, and he had passed on Thursday, and so it was quite startling to hear that. And it is so interesting to be in this work and to feel loss. There were so many years where I had lost so often. It happened all the time, and so I was very used to it. And so there has been a bit of space where that hasn't necessarily happened. So seeing it outside of myself multiple times a day, which of course those of us who do sessions see and connect with that. So it's sometimes very easy to do this work for somebody else. But when we're going through that loss for ourselves, it's interesting because I was able to witness and watch my own grieving pattern as it happened. And I received it, I grieved, I was in the process, I was in that, energy of the friendship, what it had been, and what it moved into through the years. And this, it feels like almost a karmic ending to that relationship. So there was a lot of healing around it. However, I allowed myself Friday to chill, Saturday to maybe be in it and grieve and sit in that loss. And Sunday, yesterday, was also a time for just taking space for myself. Okay, so I want to remind you all that it is okay, and we all do grieve in different ways. But again, as soon as I left that hospital, as soon as I left on Thursday, I got into the car and had said goodbye to our friends, his daughter, and got into the vehicle, and a song came on the radio that was kind of one of our songs back from the 90s. And it was an old Garth Brooks song. I never listened to country. I never hadn't heard the song in a very, very long time. And the words were exactly attached to us in a way that kind of described our relationship. So it was quite healing just to be able to receive that sign and not necessarily question it. So I want to remind you all just to be open and aware of anything that comes to you, whether your loved one passed yesterday, or 10 years ago. I want you just to be so open and aware of everything that comes to you. So again, your positive intention this week is, I trust my knowing. You trust that you're getting those signs and symbols. You trust that you're connected to the higher source, God, light, love, whatever you want to call it, however you connect with that. And in this painting, there we go. That pink is that nurturing ability there. You can see lots of other images or colors kind of popping in there. There's blue for kind of this grieving right here. It's underneath it all. This white shows that you're connecting to like the highest of energies. That yellow also showing that you're protected in it. And that pink nurturing, just a very pink, beautiful color for you. So that, as much as it's for you this week, that is for me. So lots of love to you guys. Thank you for tuning on here time and time again. I love doing this with you all. It's been so much fun. And if there's anything that you guys really want to see, let me know, kind of comment below and let me know how you'd like to kind of see this taking shape. Hi, Kristen, I see you there. But that is your intention. It is, I trust my knowing, okay? All right, guys. Thank you so much. I love you all, and I will see you later. Bye.